boy, it's the 3rd annual Ziggy Awards. My name is Nate, and waiting with all the envelopes in hand is Brian Martin.
And now, the haunting melodies of Adele Dazeem. That's a deep cut at this point. That's like 10 years old now.
No, it's not.
That fucking blooper?
10 years?
It definitely is. It's been like 10 years.
That was
Since
Skyfall, right? When was Skyfall out?
Skyfall was 2012 when that came out.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was. This was Frozen.
Oh my.
Actually, because Adele Dazeem is John Travolta's name for Idina Menzel, who was the voice of Elsa in Frozen.
Oh, I thought it was Skyfall lady.
Let It Go. That was Let It Go.
Oh, okay.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
The haunting and magical Adele Dazeem. Okay.
I guess it was just Adele did Skyfall.
Adele
I was
did
thinking it
Skyfall,
was
yeah.
Skyfall.
Same general era.
I mean,
but
it's
yeah.
the same name, basically.
Yeah. That must be why they got confused. I don't know. It's like that and the Warren Beatty thing when he accidentally announced La La Land as the winner of Best Picture instead of Moonlight.
Oh, was that Warren Beatty?
It was Warren Beatty who did that, yeah.
Oh, okay. And it was Steve Harvey that announced the wrong Miss America.
Yeah. We're just blowing it left and right, guys. Not tonight, not us.
Because we've got an editing button.
Because we're not live. We can edit. And Nate, do you have any olives?
I have Christmas cake donuts.
Oh, I like that. But hey, check this out.
Did you get olives?
You hear that?
Oh, man. I was going to get some,
Get some olives over here, baby.
All right. I'm fairly certain I do have some olives, like the ones you've got there.
All right. Yeah, hell yeah.
You stick a pin in it. I'm going to eat some olives. I've got a few here left at the bottom of the jar. And who can have an award show without a good olive?
Without olives, the classiest.
What kind of olive do you have there?
These are stuffed manzanilla olives.
From Tuscan Garden?
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah, it's Tuscan Garden brand.
I think we're partaking of
Hell
the same
yeah.
olive. Perfect.
Hopefully there's no recall on this tomorrow, guys.
Well,
There is no designated survivor for the Oh Boy podcast in the event of food contamination, specifically for Tuscan Garden olives.
all this shows me is that we are simpatico tonight. Everything's going to go smoothly. Every time we choose a best this or worst that, we're going to be on the exact same page.
On the exact same page. I'll be amazed if that's the case. One, and I know in one case we won't be. Two, that being said, I think there are areas where we will be lined up tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
Some very obvious areas.
It's a little different than prior Ziggy Awards. Now, if you're just joining us and you haven't been with us since the beginning when we were a Quantum Leap podcast, the Ziggy Awards were held at the end of a season of Quantum Leap. And Ziggy, if you don't know, is the supercomputer that assists Sam Beckett and Ben Song on their time travel escapades.
With 1 million gigabyte capacity, I'm quite capable of rubbing my tummy, patting my head, and doing 1 trillion floating point operations at once.
So, anybody that's not in the know, that's all there is to it, and we just took the name.
Yeah, and so we award specific categories. When it was Quantum Leap focused, we were awarding best episodes, episodes we didn't like so much, season MVPs, best guest stars, things like that. We've obviously adjusted and adapted some of these categories to fit this format that we're doing now, but the Ziggies largely remain intact, with one significant exception, and that is going to be as it relates to our ongoing list of time travel methods, which we will get to later in this episode. That's going to be the very last thing we get to. But just to put everyone's mind at ease, we're going to go through the Ziggy Awards. We're going to take a little break from those and go into some of those haikus we've been teasing since September.
Oh, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to go into some of your haikus.
Yes.
Misty. Not just
others.
Misty.
And
Not
others.
just Misty. Misty and others.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into our time travel device mechanisms list.
Mm-hmm.
And
try and narrow that down a little bit,
that.
maybe.
Yeah.
All right,
I think
sir.
This will be fun. And I would just want to say that when my wife brought home these olives from the grocery store this weekend, I saw the jar and I was like, I can't believe. Like, I didn't say anything about olives. No words were said. But It was like a godsend. It was like it just showed up, this fresh jar of olives. And I said, gosh, I really hope nobody opens this jar of olives until we record the Ziggies so I can open it on the air. Get that nice little pop.
Yeah, and then I get you a pop filter.
Yeah, and you gave me a pop filter just in time, so now it definitely won't pick up the pop of the jar.
You know what this tells me is that your wife is a secret listener.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Maybe she just knows. She knows. And she knew there were supposed to be olives, and luckily I had some in the fridge.
Olives are to our show what pineapples were to Psych. I can't really explain it, but it's just the thing.
That's what it is. Okay.
Hey, before we get into this, I just want to let you know that I think I messaged you about this, Nate, and I want to let all the listeners know that, first of all, if you are a streamer, if you consume your media via streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and the like, the Criterion Channel is one, a service you should be subscribing to.
Okay.
Two, they added an entire line of movies this month that are related to sort of questioning your reality.
Ooh.
And in this lineup are things like Vertigo, which we talked about in the 12 Monkeys episode.
Mm-hmm.
Memento, Christopher Nolan's second movie, starring Guy Pearce and Joey Pants.
Right.
Great movie. 12 Monkeys is also one of the movies in that collection. But as I was scrolling through this, I realized that also part of this collection was the French short film La Jetée, which
you did
is
mention
the
that.
inspiration for 12 Monkeys.
And did you watch it?
I did.
Awesome. And?
It is very upsetting.
Oh.
No.
Disappointing?
No.
Oh.
No, it is just very unnerving.
Oh, well, okay.
I don't know what I expected, but it leaves me feeling queasier than the movie 12 Monkeys does.
Oh.
It's a very experimental movie. Most of it is in still frames.
Oh.
It's almost like a slideshow of still frames with voiceover narration. It's like a short story with pictures, but instead of reading it, you're watching it. And the imagery is upsetting and disturbing. You remember we made a big to-do about the time travel mechanism in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
With the tubes and the... Nate, I can't even express to you, but the time travel setup in La Jetée is basically a hammock with some cables going into him and a syringe and this thing over his face. Oh. And it is so it's so just upsetting. I don't know what to say. It is so upsetting. Anyway, that being said, very good use of 28 minutes of your time. And especially if you've seen 12 Monkeys before, go check out La Jetée because it's all right there.
Okay.
It is
good.
It is very interesting. Very cool, very interesting.
Okay, good advice. Yeah, we could at some point cover it on the show if I ever get around to seeing that.
Should. You know, maybe we should do an episode that is La Jetée, and it's the 2000 AD comic story that inspired
Time Crimes.
Time Crimes.
All right. I'm going to pour a little whiskey here to go with our olives and donuts. Man, it's just
olives,
a party.
Donuts, and whiskey.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with us?
I wish I could share the Christmas donut with you.
I went to this Christmas market over the weekend, and I got this wood-carved filter that allows you to smoke your whiskey.
Mm.
Anyway, I tried it out the other night. Works like a champ. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah. Really enjoyed that. Not partaking tonight. Again, I'm several drinks in right now, so we're just going to go ahead with this.
Before it knocks you out.
I'll be sobered up by the end of this.
All right. Well, how are we going to roll? You're the one with the envelopes over there, Brian. Came up with most of the categories, and I did basically just some thinking over here.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So the first thing we're going to hit is our favorite pieces of media that we've consumed since the end of Quantum Leap to present. So this is everything from our Looper episode to our Timeless Christmas episode.
Otherwise known as the Bold New Era.
Bold New Era
Yeah.
of Oh Boy. So that's the first thing up here,
Are we
and
gonna
it's just
turn
going to be
this-
one pick for each of us.
And we're going to turn this into a game. Are we guessing?
Maybe some runner-ups. Yeah, let's guess our
Right.
respective picks
Right.
in these categories. Best media is tough, though, Nate, because, I mean,
Is it?
I felt like it was. I have a list that is 8 items deep.
Oh my
on this one
gosh.
that I was
We only did
considering.
like 10 episodes. How many
That were
episodes
in-
did we?
I don't know.
I think it's like
I don't
20.
know.
But
That were in consideration for me. 4 jumped out as high items.
wow, okay. Well, I've got the one that it just kind of ended up having to be number 1. And then I've got some honorable mentions, which is I think
Okay.
what you're kind of describing as well.
Yeah, for sure there's some honorable mentions. One of my honorable mentions that Nate will not have on his list is the Back to the Future musical,
Correct.
which I saw, Nate did not, but I cannot recommend more highly to those of you who enjoy time travel, who enjoy Back to the Future, and hey, enjoy stage musicals.
Right.
Like it kind of scratches all the itches there.
Yeah, that was my thought was even if you wanted to use that one, that you probably wouldn't given the fact that we didn't both see it.
Yeah. That felt like a little bit of a cheat.
Right. So I guess we should do the guesses first and then cover the honorable mentions?
Yes. Yeah, let's do the guesses first.
Okay. Well, I'm going to guess yours
Okay.
as an old favorite, Midnight in Paris.
Good guess. Incorrect.
My backup was Time Crimes.
Oh, and that was my top 2. My top 2 came down to Time Crimes and one other thing.
Oh, Midnight in Paris is not in your top 2 even?
No.
Wow, that was
No.
like your
Although I
favorite movie.
I absolutely love Midnight in Paris. Time Crimes is an exceptional time travel movie. Nate, I feel like before I say what my favorite is, I'm going to have to guess yours.
Okay.
And I'm going to say 12 Monkeys.
Oh. No, it is not
Okay.
12 Monkeys.
Ooh.
I was looking on my list here to see if I put that down as an honorable mention. I did have it as an honorable mention.
Okay, all right.
So it was definitely in there, but no, it did not top the list for me this time.
My backup would be Cause and Effect.
No.
Next Generation.
No, that's...
Okay. Wow.
I actually, for the most part, and this was sort of a conscious effort, I'm not sure why I took it, but I kind of steered clear of Star Trek.
Okay.
So...
There's a lot of Star Trek.
Yeah, if that helps you in your guesses in the future, yeah, kind of felt like Star Trek is a thing that I'm always going to love, and I feel like it just needs to be separate from this particular competition, for lack of a better word. You know, because don't want to run the table with Star Trek. So
That's true.
no, we started with the best. My favorite is Looper.
Wow. All right. Looper's your top?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Time travel has not yet been invented, but 30 years from now, it will have been.
The main reason being, I looked at the list, and there's all this great stuff on it. Great stuff we've covered.
We did watch a lot of good
We watched
stuff.
a lot of really good stuff. But at the end of the day, when I think back about which one would I watch again, Looper just had that mood, that energy. I loved the characters. I loved the story. And I felt like it kind of has everything in that it somehow is a loop, kind of a closed loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it also has this ridiculous notion that you could cut somebody's leg off in the past and have it disappear in the future.
And it's suddenly.
Yeah, so it's like he's kind of having his cake and eating it too, and this might be a cheat, but that movie, just a joy from beginning to end. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance, the idea of this noir Western mix, the atmosphere was just too much for me. It's number 1.
So do you know what's gonna happen? You done all this already? As me?
I don't want to talk about time travel shit. Because if we start talking about it, then we're going to be here all day talking about it, making diagrams with straws. It doesn't
When I
matter.
hurt myself, it changes your body. So is what I do now change your memory?
It doesn't matter!
It's great.
Number one for this season.
Yeah, and that would be of the things that I had seen previously that I reassessed upon visiting them for this podcast. That was the one that my opinion improved
changed
the most on.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Absolutely.
That's great.
I was not a fan of Looper when I watched it in the theater, and it was mostly because it was being touted as like this great, amazing movie, and I was like, wait, but hold on, I've got problems.
And it turns out that it is.
It turns out I was wrong, and it actually is great. So my favorite, keeping with a theme here, that theme being Bruce Willis, 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys.
Is my pick.
Wow.
5 billion people died in 1996 and 1997. Almost the entire population of the world. Only about 1% of us survived.
Are you going to save us, Mr. Cole?
How can I save you? This already happened. I can't save you. Nobody can.
I couldn't get out from under it, man. Like you said during the show, one of the first movies I thought of when we kind of shifted to just doing straight time travel.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Revisiting it just confirmed everything I had always known to be true in my heart about this movie I haven't seen in 20 years.
Yeah.
You know?
So you don't think it's just proximity, like the most recent one we watched?
You're going to think that because of many of my answers. But no, it's not a proximity thing. Some of my honorable mentions here were Cause and Effect.
Sure.
Next Generation.
Okay.
The Constant from Lost, which I gushed about, of course.
Right.
Time Crimes, Midnight in Paris. Loki Season 2 I had as a runner-up.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And The City on the Edge of Forever. All of those factored in here, but 12 Monkeys just comes out on top. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, the only one that came close was Time Crimes.
Yeah.
To me. As far as,
I was gonna say,
if I'm going to show a person a time travel movie and just say, buckle up, you're going to see some crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's down to Time Crimes and 12 Monkeys, and 12 Monkeys comes out on top.
Okay. Yeah, Time Crimes and 12 Monkeys were actually my two main honorable mentions there. Time Crimes, great movie. Glad I got introduced to it. A lot of fun in there, and it actually came really, really close. But yeah, at the end of the day, Looper and Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Knives Out is his name.
Yeah, right. Ryan Johnson is just telling the best kind of story, and I love his storytelling. So that's the winner for me.
Yeah, it's great. Absolutely great. All right, so the next category we're going to be looking at is Worst Media.
Worst Media.
This year. I would love if we could put this to a vote with the listeners so they could say, okay, what is Nate going to pick? Because I think Nate's pick is very obvious. And I honestly think my pick is probably going to be pretty obvious. But
God, you know what? I haven't even given any thought to what yours might be.
Well, why don't you go first then? Why don't you try to guess first?
Oh, okay. So, all right. Let's get some Jeopardy music playing. I don't think it's going to be Clock Stoppers. Let me see. What did we even watch? I really don't know, Brian. I feel like you had nice things to say about all of these. I'm going to go with The Timeless Christmas.
Bingo.
Always thinking about your future?
But there's a difference now. Not just my future anymore. It's ours. That is, if you'll share it with me.
Timeless Christmas. I only had one runner-up on this list, and it was Clock Stoppers. But A Timeless Christmas beats it because it is so unbelievably bland.
Yeah.
Like, Clock Stoppers is the sort of bad that is quantifiable and you can sit down and laugh at and say, like, wait, why the fuck did that just happen?
What was that? Because all I hear is a crowd going, a go Meeker! A go Meeker! A go Meeker!
Right. Yeah, there's definitely some enjoyable stuff in Clock Stoppers.
A Timeless Christmas is like the sort of script you can write blindfolded with some darts. You know? It's just like thump, 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 thump.
And then performed by the most mundane actors and actresses that you could.
Yeah. So I say, like, you know, it's going to seem like I have a lot of recency bias on this because 12 Monkeys and Timeless Christmas are the last two episodes we did. But, man.
Yeah. The highs and the lows right there at the end.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. There's some things I take away from A Timeless Christmas that I actually pretty much enjoy, but...
Yeah, but it takes away so much more of you.
Okay, good point. Yeah, do we even put a drum roll to this?
No, it's gotta be Chrononauts.
Chrononauts. This has got to be one of the worst comics I have ever read in my life. I hate it so much. Chrononauts, why did we waste everybody's time with that shit?
No, I didn't ask anybody else to read it. You're the one who asked everybody to read it. You wasted everybody's time.
All the audience members out there that went out and purchased Chrononauts to follow along. Oh, my God. This is just despicable. Like, you've got yours as bland and just kind of lifeless. I can't say that about Chrononauts. This is absolutely gets under my skin. Just it drives me nuts if that hasn't been obvious.
The best version of Chrononauts would be one without any dialogue or word balloons, where you're just looking at the pictures.
Oh,
you know,
that would be the actual best. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, where you could sort of include the story yourself.
I don't know if that exists, like an artist's edition of Chrononauts.
Right. Well,
I would buy
beautiful.
An artist edition of any of Sean Murphy's work, but
well, yeah, the art, we raved. The art is beautiful. There's no question there. And with regards to Looper, yeah, we definitely mentioned the whole thing about adding a mutation. You know, in comedy they call putting a hat on a hat. You know, it's that extra thing that you don't
right.
need.
Mm-hmm.
But I can look past that. I see that that's a flaw. And the worst thing in the world, Chrononauts, does have really great art. So it does have A+, and just everything Mark Miller brings to it, garbage. Absolute garbage.
That's fair. That is fair. The next thing we're going to talk about, far from garbage, best performance. And I feel like this is a little bit unfair because we're cutting things out like things that we read, like The Clock That Went Backwards or Chrononauts, you know, are ineligible for this category because it's really about the performance of an actor or actress.
We may be on the same page in this.
I wonder. I really want, because there's so many.
There are.
So many things we watched.
And it's not like it's a cast, you know? It's not like you're picking characters out of a cast that you've been watching all season long. These are just like completely new. Every week it's something different, entirely different, which has been really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best performance out of these 15 to 20 movies that we watched? I'm going to say yours is Owen Wilson.
Ooh, I only have 3 people down as contenders here.
Okay.
And Owen Wilson is one of them. Owen Wilson is bolstered by the fact that he was in 2 of the things that we watched. So I would have to ask, Owen Wilson in what?
Oh, Midnight in Paris. Midnight in Paris.
Okay, so that's what I've got him down. Gil Pender is Midnight in Paris. That is one of my runner-ups.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
And for you, God darn, this is really tough. I'm going to go with Justin Long in Idiocracy.
No, that didn't actually hit on the radar, although
it should have. It should have.
Yeah, now that you mention it, for sure. No. I'll reveal first. My best performance is Owen Wilson in Midnight in Paris.
Can you picture how drop-dead gorgeous this city is in the rain? Imagine this town in the 20s. Paris in the 20s. In the rain, the artists and writers.
So...
amazing.
Yeah. This is another one that you introduced to me. And, I mean, he's just so goddamn likable. And he's playing that Woody Allen character that Woody Allen plays that Woody Allen can't play anymore because he's old, right?
And for a number of other reasons.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, he is embodying the character that you know Woody Allen wants the character to be.
Yes.
Like, it's clear
it's so completely
as day.
That you can't believe you ever felt anybody else could have ever played it.
And it's so much more likable.
He's tremendous.
Gil Pinder, great character and a really good performance. Yeah, that was it for me.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
My runner-up, my first runner-up goes back to Looper, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Okay.
Portraying the little subtleties of Bruce Willis. I mean, that really impressed me. Just the little half smile that he can do and the mannerisms that he picked up on to make himself a mirror of this older actor. Really good job there.
And it wasn't a meet each other halfway kind of thing.
No, it was not.
Willis just showed up on set, and Levitt had to figure it out.
Yeah, Levitt probably studied knowing that he had to try and be, So, Gil Pinder, though, Owen Wilson, best character, best performance since the Bold New Era.
I'm with you on that. My pick was someone who did share screen time with Owen Wilson in what we watched this year. Ki Hai Kwan as Ouroboros.
Oh.
In Loki Season 2 is my pick.
Really?
For best performance.
I've been time-slipping in the TVA.
It's impossible to time-slip in the TVA.
But you just saw it happen.
Yeah, I'm having trouble reconciling that. I know it looked like your friend was time-slipping, but it must have been something else because I've never seen anything close to that happen before. Wait. No. There was one time. That guy that was here, what was his name?
Loki?
Yeah. A long time ago, he came to me complaining about time slipping. How did I not remember that?
Wait, is he talking to you in the past and you're just now remembering it?
Wow. That makes perfect sense. There's no flaw in that logic.
Yes.
I guess time slipping is possible at the TVA.
He was just delightful.
It was fun.
Throughout. Absolutely delightful. Like, I had a grin on my face every time he showed up. The scene where Loki and Mobius are talking to Obi in two different time periods.
Yeah.
And Obi's adjusting. Just solid gold.
Yeah, that could have been best scene if we were doing like a best scene situation.
Oh, yeah.
That could have been right up there. I don't know if I would have remembered it, but now that you're pointing it out, man, yeah.
What did you tell him?
I told him that's impossible.
It's not impossible because I was just with you in the future.
I think I will remember that.
Yes, but it hasn't happened to you yet. Do you see?
Good point. It sure would be more convenient if we were having this conversation in the future and this were the past.
We were. This is the... Never mind.
I liked him a lot.
Loved him. It loved him in Loki. Just
Loki
terrific.
Was good in that,
Yeah, I don't want to overlook Tom Hiddleston.
Hiddleston was great. Owen Wilson was great there too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
gosh.
that's what it kind of came down to that for me. Gosh. Owen Wilson really delivered for us.
For sure. Yeah.
The only other runner-up I had in this category was Avery Brooks as Benjamin Sisko, who, for any amount of time we're doing this, as long as there is a Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode somewhere in our season of podcasting, Avery Brooks will show up in my best performance category.
At least as an honorable mention.
As Benjamin Sisko / Gabriel Bell.
The name is Bell. Gabriel Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, we're probably going to do Star Trek Month again, right? We're going to kind of make it an annual sort of September thing, I think. So, yeah, he'll come back
I
around.
Haven't seen the last of Avery Brooks.
No, sir.
All right, so worst performance. Nate, I'm going to tell you, I don't have a runner-up here.
Me neither do I.
I have no runners-up. It's just one performance.
Oh, my gosh.
Now I'm wondering if we actually have the same person written down. We might not.
We might not, but I'd be surprised. Well, I don't know. This is really pretty interesting.
This was far and away the worst for me.
Okay, go with it.
Or you want me to guess yours?
Oh, well, you can try.
Look, I'm just going to say, my pick is French Stewart as Earl Doppler.
It's French Stewart.
As Earl Doppler in Clock Stoppers.
God.
I know you're a spy. It's all over the news. It's not true. I love my country. Now give me the watch so I can go to Costa Rica. And no funny business, okay? Or your hottie here gets it. Okay, here. come to Papa, baby. I am so out of here. Dude, you got it wet.
That's actually not...
That is mine too.
Never again. Never again will we, the people, make the mistake of French Stewart.
And he's one of the major
He's
problems
the problem.
with
to say
that
that
movie.
he's the problem of Clock Stoppers is a real bold statement, but you're not completely off.
No, I'd say he's the biggest piece of the pie. Like, as soon as he starts doing his French Stewart thing, it changes from, okay, theatrical movie to, oh, this is supposed to be on Saturday morning.
Oh, I sort of hate this. I see.
Oh, my God. He's so terrible.
Yeah.
And it just brings everything else down.
Unbearable. And there's a lot of fun stuff in Clock Stoppers for as much shit as we give it.
I love the fact that I watched Clock Stoppers. Let me say it that way.
Good God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely horrendous. And now
it was the only pick possible for that one.
I just started trying to rack my brain when I thought, well, if he didn't choose French Stewart, what else is out there that was so bad? The goons from Time Cop? Maybe?
Not even that. Even if you talk Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van
Damme. Does
Damme.
not deliver a good performance by any metric.
No.
Read it.
Wolverine, between the lines.
I should get the fuck out of here.
Good. You know that purse? Doesn't look good on you.
But he is Time Cop.
Yeah, absolutely. He carries that movie.
Yeah. Oh my God. So then we've got season MVP, and in the past, this has been the character or the actor on Quantum Leap that was the secret ingredient to the season. And we're kind of adjusting this now, because obviously there's no one through line through all of this stuff that we've done. So this might be an MVP for our podcast. It might be from something we've talked about. It might be from something we've merely referenced over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's a broad category.
There are a lot of options here, so I'm not even sure we can try to guess each other's pick.
I don't know that that's necessary. For me, for the third year running, it's Caitlin Bassett. I mean, the actress just lights up the screen. Now, I wonder what she's up to now.
God, I really hope she's okay.
I hope she's picking up work somewhere. Got to.
I really did like her.
She did win the first two, didn't she? Didn't she win both times?
Season MVP? Maybe for one of us, but my season MVP last year was not Caitlin Bassett. It was Hannah Carson.
Not. Yeah, it was Hannah Carson, right? Yeah.
Of course it was Hannah Carson.
So, in reality, though, since the Bold New Era, who is your podcast MVP?
My MVP. We've talked about him a lot. He had his fingerprints on everything. Not everything. No, not everything. But we had a good run, didn't we, Jonathan? It's Jonathan Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes, okay.
My season MVP is Jonathan Frakes, who directed Clock Stoppers and the Star Trek Voyager episode Past Tense Part 2, and appeared in the Star Trek The Next Generation episode Cause and Effect.
Make it so, number one.
Yeah.
So we had a good run with Mr. Frakes there. Season MVP.
Is he your season MVP because of the amount the amount of time that you saw him? Is that
No, because here's the thing, because Owen Wilson was my runner-up, and he was in just as many things as Frakes was, because we watched 2 episodes of Loki and watched Midnight in Paris. So Owen Wilson was all over this too.
Okay.
Frakes gets the MVP award. He edges out just for the amount of influence he's had on my life as a whole.
Okay.
From the way I conduct myself publicly, to the way I sit down in chairs, to the way I discuss the paranormal. Jonathan Frakes is my season MVP, and I appreciate everything he's done, even when it doesn't work out so great, like, Clock Stoppers.
This is a strange category, because yours, Jonathan Frakes, my season MVP for the Bold New Era is The Clock That Went Backwards.
On the first landing of the square stairway of the mansion loomed a tall Dutch clock. The case was more than 8 feet high, of a dark red wood, not mahogany, and was curiously inlaid with silver. No common piece of furniture was this.
Oh, that's a good pick.
The clock itself. I mean,
we talked about it so goddamn much.
We talked about it so often. Everything
we were so
seemed
dismissive of it. I was kind of dismissive of it, I would say.
I think early on we may have both been.
Every subsequent episode. It's like you have a relationship early in your life. And it ends, and you're like, okay, well, that wasn't really a whole lot. But then like 10 or 12 years down the road, you realize, wait, every single person I've dated since that, I've just been judging them against that person. And for us, I feel like since the clock that went backwards came along, everything we've talked about has been judged against the clock that went backwards.
Well, that's exactly why it's my MVP. I have the same assessment. Yeah. Every time we bring something up, ever since we read that story, and we bring anything up on any of the other shows or movies, it always comes back to the clock that went backwards. It became the bulwark in our list of time travel methods as to whether something is good or not. Is it above or below the clock that went backwards?
The clock that went backwards actually served the purpose on our list of the clock that went backwards in the story, fortifying the wall that prevented the invasion.
Was it chance that sent him to meet the unexpected danger? Consider some of the consequences had he failed.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good parallel. And half of these episodes, they'd be entirely different without having read that story that you forced me to read.
Sure.
The thing was 11 pages long.
Jesus, Nate, I'm sorry.
Single
I'll never forgive myself for this. I'll never forgive myself for forcing you to read 11 pages of text.
Whew. I made it, and turns out...
You sound like a member of Congress. How long is this? 10 pages.
Front and back.
Single spaced.
Turns out to have been worth it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good pick. So next we're going to talk about the time travel method that we'd most like to use. Out of everything we have discussed.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that this will not be the clock that went backwards.
No, I don't. Like I've said over and over again, the only thing that ever held that clock back was that it only took you to one place, and it was in the middle of an armed conflict.
Your clock does not go. Does it ever go?
Well, I also like the fact that it's the size of a grandfather clock, and you have to trudge it everywhere you want to go. So that kind of sucks too.
Drag it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
it's already broken.
Like when you're young and you're moving all the time, you get your friends to help you. They have to move something like that fucking clock. They're not helping you the next time you have to move. You're going to have to get all new friends to help you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many pizzas you buy. That being said, what would you like to use?
What do you think I would like to use, Nate?
It's got to be the cars. It's got to be the Peugeot from
Absolutely.
Midnight in Paris.
It's the Midnight in Paris Peugeot. They're all the reasons I've discussed all season long. It's sweet ride. You get in, there's automatically interesting people in the car with you. It takes you to an amazing party with famous and intriguing people in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I mean, I went to the steps in real life, for God's sake, Nate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking for this car. I want the car.
Well,
Give me the car.
Kind of putting mine to shame now.
Because I actually went there looking for it?
No, I think the argument is good. It's luxury. It's a luxury time machine. So
yeah, and if I'm going to time travel, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I want to time travel in style, like Doc Brown says.
Exactly.
For the sake of luxury. Like, I just want to drink absinthe with a bunch of people in, like, 1920s Paris. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, I'm going to knock back a swig of whiskey right now.
There you go.
Well, you've got a really good pick. It's probably better than my pick, but for sheer versatility, it's got to be the TVA Time Door.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Easy as pie. You can go just about anywhere you want at any time across realities. I mean, this thing is basically everything all at once.
Yeah, it's a Deus Ex door.
It really is. It really is. It's basically anything you want it to be. It can be placed in any direction. It can be called upon whenever you want it.
It's fairly reliable.
Fairly reliable.
Even when it's a janky prototype, it's pretty reliable.
Yeah, as long as OB made it, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I think it's just easy. It's a story plotting device. But if I actually had it at my disposal, go anywhere, anytime, like you're walking through a doorway.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That is a good pick. It's just a very smooth ride, very reliable.
Yeah.
Do you have any runners-up for this one?
No, because I picked it literally before we turned the microphone on.
I did have one runner-up for this.
Okay.
Can you guess what it is?
All right. If it's not the time door, I don't think that you want to be strapped down naked in plastic.
No, a lot of these are very unpleasant.
Yeah, and the time tank from Time Crimes. Nobody wants to be sitting in saliva.
Yeah, a lot of these things are things you don't want to use.
Does the DeLorean count? I feel like...
I didn't count the DeLorean.
I didn't bring it up either. Okay. Nobody wants to be stuck in a causality loop. Nobody wants to be pruned. You want to match wits with the Guardian.
No.
I see no reason for answers to be couched in riddles.
My answer is simply as your level of understanding makes possible.
My runner-up was the clock stopper watch.
What if that had won? It's been at the bottom of the list all season.
I'll tell you what, guys. The clock stopper watch, for the purposes of day-to-day life, not terrible if you don't overuse it. And the thing that would have absolutely sealed this up is if it came with a hot Venezuelan chick who likes Star Trek.
No, you have to get the hot chick.
See, that's what held it back.
Them. But you can do it with the watch. The watch makes you cool enough to get chicks like that.
To get the Venezuelan chick?
Yeah.
Would it be such a stretch for maybe some of your plans to include me?
It sounds like a lot of work to me. I don't know. Midnight in Paris car, just a lot more passive. You just got to be on the right street corner at the right time. Just the right degree of wistfulness.
And, you know, Gil found a pretty hot chick doing all that, so...
He did.
A couple of them.
That's true.
3 of them.
That's true. Oh, Gil did okay.
After all, he is Woody Allen.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, Midnight in Paris wins out, though.
Okay. Let's just run back through it. Best media, Looper and...
12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys. Worst media, Chrononauts.
And A Timeless Christmas.
And Chrononauts.
And Chrononauts.
Best performance, Owen Wilson in Midnight in Paris.
And Ki Hai Kwan in Loki Season 2.
Worst performance,
French Stewart.
In Clock Stoppers.
Can we get French Stewart in another thing next year? What else has he done?
Do we want to?
No, I don't
Are we
think so.
subjecting ourselves to the worst
Oh boy,
performance?
it's a French Stewart podcast.
Oh my God. I wonder if that's out there somewhere.
Somebody's done it. French Stewart's done it.
I mean, the guy is a star. He became a star from that sitcom.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
With Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Because people liked him. Right? I mean...
No, that's not how this happened. No, people like John Lithgow.
Okay.
No, I think French Stewart has that sort of Urkel energy.
Right. Nobody wants Urkel now, right?
He's on that new Star Wars show.
Urkel?
Jaleel White.
Oh, Jaleel White. That's not Urkel.
No, he's not. He can do more than one thing. That's Jaleel White.
And your MVP was?
Jonathan Frakes.
And mine, the inanimate object, the first time travel machine in media, the clock that went back.
Great pick. And then time travel method we'd most like to use. I chose the Midnight in Paris car.
Right. And the TVA time door for versatility alone.
Those are good picks.
Yeah.
Pretty good picks.
We're pretty sharp. A couple of sharp guys.
Don't say that yet, because we're going to go through some of the listener-submitted haikus, that we requested earlier in the year.
Yes, we will announce our Snickers bar winners.
Oh, you doing that again? Well, I mean, it's the best time of year to mail out. If you're going to mail out candy, it's the best time of year to do it because it's like 29 degrees outside.
And those who have already been announced, they never got their candy.
Jesus, Nate. Got to get some Stamps.com action going on.
Yeah.
In there.
Maybe if we
get a sponsorship for Stamps.com and then you can just mail it from your house.
Yeah. But after this episode posts, you will definitely be receiving your Snickers bars. All you'll have to do is provide me with a place that you would like your Snickers bar mailed. Maybe a post office box.
I thought you were going to say a place you would like to meet up personally.
No. The opposite of that.
Okay.
But first and foremost, it's Misty Zapes.
Oh, yeah.
Misty.
Speaking of season MVPs.
Right?
Haiku Factory.
When you look at the email box, Misty is far and away our most prominent contributor. And she's written more than just a couple of haikus. So how are we going to play this?
So, Nate, I haven't read any of the haikus. I haven't seen them.
Okay.
So I would like you to throw some of them at me and see if I can figure out what they are. See if I can figure out what the haiku's about.
Okay, I will start from the bottom. We've got so many emails here because you've got a few there in your mailbox now.
I do.
And you're going to throw some at me as well?
I'm happy to do that, yeah.
Okay. Here's a good number of them. I've got 5 right here in front of me.
Okay.
Number 1, Philadelphia. Battleship experiment. Present day and past.
Ooh. Wasn't it just called the Philadelphia experiment?
It sure was.
Yeah, that's about the ship that disappeared in the harbor.
Yeah, the entire title is in the poem.
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's a good pick, though. That's a really good pick.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Should I go again?
Yeah, do another one.
Okay. Stephen King movie. Metal mouths will eat the past. Mr. Toomey speaks.
Oh, jeez. Metal mouths?
Metal mouths. Stephen King movie. That narrows it down.
Yeah, it does.
Metal mouths will eat the past.
What is it, the Langoliers or something?
That's it.
What is it?
The
it
Langoliers.
Is. Hey, hot
You're
dog.
2 for 2. You're 2 for 2.
Wow. All right. You do one more and then I'll do some.
Okay, here we go. Plane flies to the past through time tunnel in the sky. 1943.
What? 1943? I thought we were going for, was that movie we're going to do soon, Millennium?
Maybe.
But, 1943. Oh, jeez.
She doesn't put the answer here. She left the answer off on this one.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So I can't help you.
Plane going into the past, but 1943 is the thing that's throwing me off.
Plane flies to the past through time tunnel in the sky. 1943.
Gosh. It could apply to Millennium. It could apply to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It could apply to... I don't know. That's what I got.
Yeah, I feel
Planes in the sky flying into the past. All right, I may be stumped on that one.
Yeah, I don't know that I know it either, honestly. It seems interesting that she failed to put the answer on that one.
Is it just about Amelia Earhart? I don't know.
Did she time travel?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know she went to space in Star Trek land.
All right, well, I'm stumped on that one. Okay. Obviously, you've seen some of these, so I don't.
I did my best not to read them because I knew we were doing this, so I did my best not to read when she said they were haikus.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, all right. This is tough. First, he gets the girl. Second time around, he won't. Third, it all works out.
First time around, he gets the girl. The second time, he won't.
This is really tough. I'm just going to throw that out there. And it's also a book.
Oh. If it hasn't been adapted for the screen and it's more than 11 pages long.
Yeah, right. You're out Yeah, out of Nate territory there.
What do you got? What do you got there? What is she?
This is from the novel Thrice Upon a Time by James P. Hogan, published in 1980. It's about sending messages into the past. So that's one of those time travel methods, the messages traveling through time.
Oh, okay. Isn't there a Keanu Reeves movie like that?
Yeah, you're thinking of The Lake House, I think.
Probably.
With him and
right.
Sandra Bullock in it.
It's funny because I've got another one here, and the first line of the haiku is, "This one is a book."
So you're out on that one, Nate.
Yeah, somehow you get hints in yours. One of them even had the title right in the poem. Okay, this one is a book, Saving John F. Kennedy, one step at a time.
Oh, that's got to be 11/22/63, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we can find one more here. That was a good one. I like that one.
I've got one more from Misty.
Okay.
And then we've got to get to one of the other contestants.
Let's see if we can find a good one here. God, I don't think you'd get any of these.
Well, I don't know that I'm supposed to. I think we're the ones that turned this into a game.
Did we? All right, here we go. Birthday wishes made. She wakes up 30 years old, then 13 once more.
13 going on 30.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good one.
Is that time travel?
I mean, it's life travel. It's body travel. I don't know how
Misty,
human hormones and things
travel.
work. I don't know. I think it counts.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, if the clock stopper watches time travel. Anyway, regardless, it's a great movie. Another Mark Ruffalo romantic comedy. Yeah. Not unlike Reese Witherspoon in that movie that I still don't know the name of.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. And I don't either, because you know what? I didn't look it up.
And you're not going to.
That's the thing. When you tell me about a Reese Witherspoon movie, I'm like, oh, yeah, I like Reese Witherspoon, but I never like her enough to look it up.
Yeah. I don't know what I've seen her in.
Ever?
Like, I know she's Legally Blonde.
Cruel Intentions?
No.
Election?
No.
You never saw Alexander Payne's Election?
No.
Well worth your time. So great.
Man will fall in love with a woman from the past. Will happiness win?
Ooh, I feel like that could be so much.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the other one that was a book I hadn't read.
Yeah.
It did feel like Meet Cute. I wanted to do Meet
Cute.
Yeah, we haven't done it yet.
Got to get on Meet Cute. Yeah.
Yeah, people are clamoring for Meet Cute.
Speaking of things we got to do, I just got this.
Oh.
Which is the 4K version of Demolition Man. Anyway, we're going to need to do Demolition Man.
Well, the new season is about to start, so...
Yeah, we got to get on Demolition Man, too. So Meet Cute, Demolition Man, they got to come up in the new year. This movie is so fucking ridiculous. Anyway.
It'll be our time cop.
It's got to be. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what this one could be.
I don't either, even after the title, Somewhere in Time?
Oh, that's Christopher Reeve.
Oh, the one with the...
That's the movie with Christopher Reeve and Dr. Quinn. Isn't she in that?
With the watch, right? Isn't it a...
Okay. Yeah.
Man will fall in love with a woman in the past. Will happiness win? Okay.
Yeah, Jane Seymour.
I just recently learned about that movie when I was watching some stuff with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was talking about time loops, and I was like, I talk about time loops all the time.
Me and Neil deGrasse Tyson, we're just like the same person, practically.
Yep.
I mean, the way you shit on everything, Nate, pretty much. I mean,
hey! Chrononauts, man. The very idea that you defend Chrononauts.
The Me Too movement made it not okay for me to defend Chrononauts, I think.
Good for it. Okay. Contestant number 2, Jeff Richardson. He's got an answer key on his, so we won't get stuck here.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Silly doc gunned down. Poorly designed hospital. Bad kiss and fireworks. Poorly designed hospital.
I think the first thing I thought of when you said poorly designed hospital was, of course, Idiocracy.
Don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart that you're fucked up. You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
Well, when yeah.
Like, that would have won for Best Hospital.
Silly Doc Gunned Down made me think of Back to the Future 3, but...
yeah.
Poorly Designed Hospital, Bad Kiss and Fireworks. And I can tell you that I would never get this, and between the two of us, you're really the only one that could.
Wow.
Based on the answer key here.
Whew.
It is a Doctor Who TV movie.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's all it is. That's the title.
Okay, all right. I was like, I'm not sure which one. Okay.
That was not a hint. That was the answer.
The actual, like, 1996 Doctor Who TV movie?
I guess so.
Maybe so.
I guess so.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, my God, because that doctor dies after being gunned down in an alley. Regenerates as the next Doctor. Oh, my God. Wow, that was quite a deep cut, I would say.
Jeff has a connection with you through Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
You guys are the Doctor Who people.
Wow.
So.
That was good, Jeff.
All right. Here we go again. Heroes meet old friends. Their dharma leads them to Swan. Magnet sucks off Sawyer.
Well, that's Lost.
Yeah, Lost season 5. He just put it together as the whole season.
I like that. I like that one a lot.
Again, that one also for you. Space Hitler needs help. She walks through Carl's swirly hole. Tries to fix Empire. You're not going to get this.
She walks through Carl's swirly hole.
That's what it says here.
Nasty.
This is Star Trek Discovery, Terra Firma Parts 1 and 2.
Oh.
Did you watch Star Trek Discovery? You did watch that.
I've seen a lot of it. I haven't seen all of it.
Yeah. I've seen zero of it.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
So far, this is almost entirely yours.
What was that again?
Space Hitler needs help.
Yes.
She walks through Carl's swirly hole.
Yeah.
Tries to fix Empire.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's Michelle Yeoh he's talking about as Space Hitler, I think.
And finally, number 4, let's make sure drunk warps. The line must be drawn here. You broke your little ships.
Oh, that's Star Trek First Contact.
Yeah.
That's good.
Say, if you don't get that one, I mean, come on.
Well, the line must be drawn here. That's the big one. You broke your little ships is also a good clue there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice job. Nice job all around on those.
And our final winning contestant. Now, to be fair, Misty has a bunch more here. I don't think we're going to get to Misty.
We barely scratched the surface, let's be honest.
Yeah. Anna Christine. Be sure not to say Anna, like Frozen, says here in her email.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Anna Christine submitted one to us.
Okay.
I'll send it off to you here. Out in endless space, across the cosmic fabric, going boldly on.
Is this just Star Trek?
Star Trek as a whole.
Yeah.
All manners of Star Trek. Out in endless space, across the cosmic fabric, going boldly on.
I like that.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really nice.
Great.
Really nice. They should put that on one of the commission plaques on the
starship.
Yeah,
for sure.
In the bridge, they've got that little commission plaque.
Yeah,
that belongs on a commission plaque.
All right, so we're about ready to wrap up this little segment here with the haikus, I believe, correct?
I think so, yeah.
So this is the one that I feel like we have to end on. Another Misty Zapes haiku that we can't appreciate more. Nate and Brian share of movies and books galore. Time travel stories.
Oh, that's time crimes.
It's a Oh Boy, a time travel podcast. Yeah.
That's great. We've got our own haiku now. That's great.
And if you submitted a haiku and we read it on the air tonight, send me an address where you would like your Snickers bar sent, because a promise is a promise, even if it's several months late.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys earned Snickers, and thanks for participating.
And if you've got a nut allergy, let Nate know that as well, so he can send you something, like
a
Sour
Milky
Patch
Way.
Kids instead, or I don't know.
Yeah. Milky Way, maybe.
You got a lactose allergy, then maybe he sends you an apple.
What are we going through?
Just send Nate what you can eat, and
I feel like it's Snickers. Snickers was promised.
You know what's going to be awful is when we have to start sending out Fuddruckers gift cards.
Don't start putting ideas in people's heads.
I don't live anywhere near a Fuddruckers.
Okay, on with the show.
If you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
All right, guys, so the last little bit we've got here, looking back at our list of time travel mechanisms, time machines, time devices, time travel methods, and we are first going to be singling one out for a Hall of Fame award.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going into the next year of this podcast in 2025, we're going to be kind of cleaning the slate a bit. So we're not going to just be perpetually adding to this list. We're going to retire a lot of the methods that we've talked about this season. But one of them will be ascending to the Hall of Fame. It's going to be the one at the top of the list.
Yes, without question.
It's got to be the DeLorean. Now, this is the DeLorean as a whole.
Right.
Like we talked about it in relation to the Back to the Future musical. But the DeLorean is the DeLorean.
Yeah.
So the DeLorean is ascending to become our first Hall of Fame time travel machine recipient.
Oh boy, a time travel podcast, Hall of Fame, the DeLorean.
Now, I do have one Hall of Fame edition here.
I wonder if it's the same one I wanted to try and squeeze in.
No, it's not a time machine, though.
Oh.
You know when you're at the Oscars and you get that one person who gets, like, the honorary Oscar for, like, Lifetime Achievement Award?
Okay.
This is what I consider to be the Legacy Award of Oh Boy, and it goes to Quantum Leap 2022 to 2024, the show that started this whole podcast.
Quantum Leap as a whole.
Unceremoniously in May of this year after the second season ended.
I see what you're going for here. I actually thought for a minute, as we've got one member of the Hall of Fame here, and I thought, would it be fitting to put the Accelerator in the Hall of Fame?
The Quantum Leap
Accelerator.
The
Quantum Leap Accelerator?
No, you know what? I'm going to say no, because we will probably revisit Quantum Leap at some point.
Well, we can still talk about it just because it's in the Hall of Fame.
That's true. That's true.
I just felt like it might be deserving. But then, on the other hand, we also hated the fact that they used the Accelerator, quote unquote, as supposedly making the choices for the Leaper. So,
yeah.
I mean, it was kind of iffy there, but since we were sort of retiring the notion of being a Quantum Leap podcast, I thought it might be nice to ascend that to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, you're probably right.
I just want to have a little recognition.
Absolutely.
For what brought us here. You know?
49 episodes of this show.
I was like, 49 episodes? They didn't have 49 episodes of that show. Oh, yeah, us. We're devoted to Quantum Leap. Yeah, so...
And sliders.
And also occasionally sliders. Yeah, that's right. So Quantum Leap. I mean,
and Highway to Heaven. Go back and listen to Highway to Heaven. Can you believe this podcast has an episode about Highway to Heaven?
Yeah, that's kind of wild, right?
It is now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go back and listen, folks.
So with regards to our time machine list, like I said, most of them are going to be retired, and we're going to start the list fresh here in 2025. But there are 3 time travel machines or methods that will be moving on as sort of, I think, benchmarks to weigh the new ones in. These are like the incumbents going into the list. Right. Now, Nate and I haven't talked about what 3 things we're going to choose here. Now, I feel like 2 of them are very, very obvious picks.
Oh, well.
At least.
Here's the question, though. Does it have to be 3 that we agree upon?
I think it should be 3 that we agree upon.
And so for 2025, we'll start with a list of 3.
Yeah, and this won't necessarily be 3 consecutive. Back to the Future, the DeLorean was number 1 on our list in 2024. The ones in the 2, 3, 4 slots won't necessarily automatically move onto the list. We're going to be singling out.
Well, see, if the list were working the way it were supposed to, then, yeah, 2, 3, and 4 are just the top time travel methods and clearly the ones that should move on, but it just didn't work out that way.
But I also think that if our goal is to sort of continue organizing these things, having them go up against the top 3, first of all, it isn't fair, but it also doesn't give us much help in terms of figuring out where to place things. To me, these are more like buoys on the list. To say, okay, this was up here, this was here, and this was here. Where do these fit within the construct?
That was your thought process, huh?
That's how I did this. But I still think 2 of ours are the same, at least.
Well, my thought was that despite the way the list actually broke down, that we'd want to take the top 3, the ones that we like the most, that were the best, move those on to the next year, and if they continue to stay on a list year after year, that's when they get elevated to the Hall of Fame.
I see.
That was my thought process, because when we started ranking these, it was supposed to be best to worst, and I don't think the list ended up that way. When I look at it now, I'm just like, what were we thinking at the time? It's the same way we felt about The Clock That Went Backward. You know, like it changed.
That's why this is what I'm leaning towards with this.
Okay.
Because there are certain things we would absolutely reclassify, and there are certain things that I think are staples that whether we keep it on the list or not, we're going to keep talking about, and we're going to keep weighing things against it.
Yeah, I mean, things are not going away.
Right?
If you guys love us talking about the Clock Stopper Watch, have no fear.
The Clock Stopper Watch is not on my list of 3 that should move forward.
It doesn't have to be. I'm going to bring up the Clock Stopper Watch and Mr. Second Chance Man.
That didn't turn out so bad after all, Mr. Second Chance Man.
Again. So how do we want to reveal our thoughts here?
So here are the 3 that I think should move forward.
Okay.
The first one is The Guardian of Forever.
Okay.
Which is obvious. That was the number 2 on the list, right?
Right.
And one of the most unique time travel methods, one of the few time travel methods capable of back talk, which is also great.
A time portal, Captain. A gateway to other times and dimensions, if I'm correct.
As correct as possible for you. Your science knowledge is obviously primitive.
Really?
And it comes from one of the best time travel stories ever.
Right. Yeah, The Guardian was definitely on my list as well. I think it's moving on. And if it happens to survive next year, seems like
it's like a Hall of Famer.
It would be a Hall of Famer.
I am both, and neither. I am my own beginning, my own ending.
If for some reason it starts to drop down the list and we're not talking about it and we think maybe something changes over the course of 2025, I don't anticipate that.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if something important and serious has got to come along to beat the Guardian of Forever.
My answer is simply as your level of understanding makes possible.
Right.
Like the DeLorean.
So for our new year 2025, the number 1 is The Guardian.
Yes.
Probably.
Now, I'm going to skip number 2 and go to my pick for the 3rd item on the list. So this would be in 3rd place on the list moving forward right now.
Okay.
And that's The Clock That Went Backwards. We must migrate The Clock That Went Backwards onto the 2025 list because, one, it's the one we kept going back to as saying, did we give this thing a fair shake? And 2, for the reasons you mentioned earlier, we keep going back and weighing everything against it.
The MVP.
This is the best spot by which to divide the good from the bad.
Yeah. You know, when you said that 2 of them were obvious, I didn't believe you. I didn't really think that we were actually going to have the exact same tip, but both of those are on my list in 1 and 3.
Yes. And 2
Shocking.
Two is the one that I'm a little bit...
I mean, we've got to have some discussion about this.
Yes, and 2 is where it's going to happen. I have 2 picks.
Oh, okay.
For the number 2 position.
Now, wait a minute. I only have one, so if one of your two is my one, that's
it's automatically.
The one, right?
That's it. That's game, set,
All right.
and match.
Okay.
God damn it. I feel like I know what your number 2 is.
Oh, you do.
And it's perfectly legit, and I'm totally fine with it.
Read between the lines, Brian.
The 2 picks I had were the milk tank from Time Crimes.
Okay.
And the Time Cop train car thing.
Technology is all in the folders in front of you. You won't understand it any better than I can.
It's the time machine from Time Cop.
Time Cop is moving on.
That was number 2 for me. And god damn, the tank from Time Crimes, as I jot them down and then check off the ones that I wanted to move on. That made the list.
Yeah.
I didn't check it off, but yeah, I don't know why that one's good. But I like it.
I don't know either, because it seems unpleasant. I wouldn't want to use it. It doesn't seem very useful at all.
No.
But visually, it's
also kind of boring visually. But
it's not when you're inside of it and you're trying to get that guy to help you and it's just lowering. It's like pretty harrowing.
I think that the tank is not unlike Terry Gilliam's Time Machine because it invokes imagination.
Yeah.
They don't tell you anything. You just have to kind of imagine how this thing works.
Yeah, exactly.
And the notion that tank requires that special mixture of liquids and chemicals.
You pour in the goop.
Yeah, what is that goop? Why do you need it? What does it do?
It's like you're swimming in egg whites.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of interesting. There aren't other time machines like that. And this is a time machine method that was kind of far down on the list. It was below the clock that went backwards. So in the quote-unquote bad side, the lower half.
The Time Crimes one was?
It was below the TVA time door and above Looper.
Wow. Okay, well, it and Looper were very similar, so yeah.
Should I go over the list from 2024 one more time?
All right, let's hear it
listeners?
one more time. Let's see where everything ended up on the list from 2024.
Okay. From 2024, the first season of the Bold New Era, The DeLorean was number 1. Number 2, The Guardian from the City on the Edge of Forever. Number 3 was the temporal causality loop from Cause and Effect.
Which is just such a formative concept for us.
Yeah.
I think that we ranked it really, really high. It was like a turning point for me, at least, in terms of time travel stories and my interest in them, so...
Yeah, okay. I mean, it is interesting, but there's so many of them, though, that it's sort of like, that might be where we first saw them, but...
It's definitely where I first heard about causality loops, yeah.
Yeah. And then the Time Machine from Time Cop, of course. Terry Gilliam's Time Machine from 12 Monkeys. And then A Timeless Christmas.
The time clock.
The
Christmas clock.
You know, I jotted that one down, but it's basically just the clock that went backwards.
Right. Yeah, you can't have two of the same thing.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing. But, I mean, look how high it ranked. That's like number 5.
Yeah. Sometimes the most boring media has the most interesting ideas.
Yes. We said that the time machines don't reflect how much we enjoy the media, and that much is evident. The next one, the Peugeot from Midnight in Paris.
Yeah.
And then the Chrononauts Chronosuit, much higher than it needs to be. The TVA Time Door, the Time Crimes Tank, Looper, a transporter accident on Star Trek, Loki Time Slipping, the Clock That Went Backwards, which, let's be honest, should have been near the top.
It really should not have been that low, except it's, again, depositing you in one place, and it's very cumbersome.
Yeah, but it's so fucking awesome. The Time Ship Eon, the TVA Pruning Stick, which was really a reach, Wesley's Time Machine from Prodigy.
Yeah.
The Time Machine from Idiocracy.
Which was just a carnival ride.
Somehow beats 2 other methods of time travel. Desmond's Time Slipping from Lost. And rounding out the bottom, the Clock Stopper Watch.
Yeah. I think the back end of it just veers between lazy and unpleasant. Like grossly unpleasant and might kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the real turning point is the Time Crimes versus Looper, because they're basically the same method, but Time Crimes you might viably survive. If you're in the time machine in Looper, you're about to get shot in the head.
Yeah, you're about to eat a bullet. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
There we have it.
Yeah, wow, that was quite a journey we've been on.
The 3rd annual Ziggy Awards in the books.
Yeah, and of course, we'll be starting fresh here in 2025 with a bunch of new movies and shows, and to Nate's chagrin, probably some printed material. And hopefully you guys will keep listening and keep enjoying that.
And hopefully the printed material will have pictures.
Yeah, pictures and maybe word balloons and less than 10 pages. So be sure to come back next time. Our next episode here in January is going to be Millennium, not the Lance Henriksen television series. I want to make that clear.
No Chris Carter, huh?
No, but the 1989 movie about the airplane traveling in time. Cheryl Ladd and Chris Christopherson. Rest in peace.
Okay.
So that should be a fun one, and that was a requested...
That's next week, then.
...movie. That is the next episode.
Okay.
So if you want to check that one out before you listen to the next episode, guys, go for it. Until then, however, please remember to subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast listening apps. Write reviews for it wherever you can. If you want to turn those reviews into a haiku, it would probably be very interesting for people who run across the show for the very first time.
Can we retire the haikus?
Look, haikus are the short, it's low commitment. I'm not asking for much. In fact, Nate has to put more work into just acquiring the candy to send you.
Need the addresses. Yeah,
and you can send those addresses to ohboyqlpod@gmail.com. What were your favorite time machines that we talked about this year? What would you have chosen as the 3 time travel methods to move on to the 2025 list?
Who gave the worst performance?
It was French Stewart.
It was French Stewart.
There's no question. Guys, find us on socials. I am brian.lee.martin on Instagram and Threads, and I am at Captain Burns, CaptnBern on Blue Sky.
And I am at Action Nate on both Blue Sky and Threads.
And folks, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. I hope you'll stick with us for this next part of our time travel journey. Until next time, I'm Brian.
And I'm Nate.
And we'll see you in the future.
Without